Hello. So today I am going to present hypothesis. Here you know already, so I am revising once again, representing a hypothesis. Hypothesis is a conjunction of constraints on attributes. As I said, conjunction means it is an AND operator. Constraints means conditions on the attributes. So hypothesis is also called a rule or a criteria which will fit the training data in order to classify it perfectly. So the constraints can be represented in three ways. It is a one thing, specific value. That is, attribute can be a specific value. Attribute can take any value except null value, that is represented by question mark. The no value allowed, that is the attribute is equal to null value. And here the example of hypothesis, here this is one hypothesis. You can write it is H is equal to hypothesis sunny, temperature value is question mark, humidity is question mark, wind is strong, water is question mark, forecast is same. This is the one hypothesis. So it says that sky will take a value sunny, temperature can take any value, humidity can take any value, wind must be equal to strong, water can take any value, forecast must be same. This is example for the hypothesis. And here the instance X satisfies the hypothesis H. So when do we say that instance X satisfies hypothesis X? Instance X means, you know already, in the Enjoy Sport training data set there are 4 instances, that is sky equal to something, temperature equal to something, humidity equal to like this. Okay, here all the constraints in H hold for X, then you will say that H of X is equal to 1, otherwise it becomes 0. So that is instance X satisfies the hypothesis H. That is, if all constraint in H hold for X, then H of X equal to 1. So this we will call it as a instance X satisfies the hypothesis H. Here, so you can observe here, this is an instances. That is, in the instances means it is a collection of instances. As I said, X is a one instance, capital X is a collection of instances that is represented by possible days described by the attributes. These attributes: temperature, humidity, wind, water, forecast. Here there is no target value, that is instance X, collection of instances. Here one more thing, you have a target function, it is represented by C, that is Enjoy Sports. It is a collection of instances. It implies either 0 or 1. Means in the Enjoy Sports example, if it is equal to 0, it means that that particular day he is not able to play the water sport. If it is equal to 1, on that day he or she can play the water sports. That is represented by small c. And next you have a hypothesis. This is, you know already, small h is in a single instance, capital X is a collection of hypothesis. That is, once again it is a conjunction of literals. Example sunny, question mark, this one, it is a one single instance. And one more notation you are observing here, that is D. D is a training examples. In the training examples, as I said in the first lecture itself, All the training examples are labeled by some experts, that is either positive or negative. Here in this particular example, examples of the target functions. So how the training examples are represented? X1 is an instance. Each instance is associated with a target value, either positive or negative. Similarly, X2 C of X2 C of X2 comma, like this, so on, Xn C of Xn. This is a D is a training examples. And determine, our aim is to determine the hypothesis H in collection of hypotheses such that H of X is equal to C of X for all X in D. The aim of this one is, we need to determine a hypothesis. It may be single hypothesis or number of hypotheses. It depends on the learning algorithm. We need to determine H in H such that H of X is equal to C of X for all X in D, means where X is an instance which belongs to the training set D. For all the instances in D, this condition must be satisfied. Then we are able to say that this H is a good hypothesis in order to fit the training data set, or in order to classify the training data set perfectly. So coming to inductive learning hypothesis. Here inductive means, already you heard in the DMS subject, that is discrete mathematics subject, wherein if you want to find the mathematical induction function, for example, if you want to find a n 1 plus 2 plus 3 dot 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 is equal to some series, it is equal to something n into n plus 1 divided by 2, like this. So this is a series. If you want to prove this one, what we will do is, we'll assume that k is equal to 1, k equal to 2. So this is proved. Right hand side, left hand side is equal to right hand side. This is a mathematical induction. If this becomes true, so ultimately when k is equal to n also, this part becomes a true. So that is what, this is an assumption. If this is true for these many values, then it is also true for k equal to n. That is what you will call it as a mathematical induction. Here also, any hypothesis found to approximate the target function well over the training data set, it also approximates the target function well over the unobserved examples. Here unobserved examples means test set, testing set examples. So here once again I will repeat, any hypothesis found to approximate the target function. You know, target function means enjoy sports. If it is equal to 1, he or she can able to play the water sport, otherwise no. So if this target function, this hypothesis is satisfies the given target function over all the training examples, it also satisfies the target function well over the unobserved examples, means unknown examples are classified correctly only when if it classifies the training data set correctly. That is called a inductive learning hypothesis. The fundamental assumption here is inductive learning. So I'll repeat once again, any hypothesis that classifies the training data set correctly, it also classifies the training data testing data set correctly. Here concept learning is it is a searching process. Here H is in a collection of hypotheses. It is also called a search space. We need to find H which is best fit to the training data set D. The find H to fit the best fit to the training data D means, so we need to find out the hypothesis H such that it must classify the training data set correctly. Training data set correctly means, so if one instance is positive, the H should say that it is positive. If next instance is negative, it should say that it is a negative. Other instance is positive, the H must say that it is a positive. That is what the find H best fitting to D. The selection of representation defines a search space. So we need to find out size of the space. Size of the space depends on syntactic and semantic value. So we will come to know what is syntactic and semantic value. There is an efficient search in very large or infinite spaces for the best H. That is, we need to find out the efficient search algorithm which will best fit the training data set. Here you see that the number of instances and concepts, hypothesis, this one. We know that in the previous example, these are the attribute. Sky takes 3 values, temperature takes 2 values, humidity takes 2 values, and wind takes 2 values, water take 2 values, forecast take 2 values. So these are the possible values of the sky. The possible value of sky are 3 values, temperature 2 values, humidity is 2 values, that is normal and high, wind it can take a strong or weak, water can take warm or cold. Similarly for the forecast it can take same and change. The number of distinct instances for this one is, that is, first one is here 3 into next 2, next 2, 2, it is a 96 instances, the possible instances. And the number of distinct concepts, that is, concept means, so you have 2 types of things, either positive or negative, that is why it is 2 raised to 96 number of distinct concepts. Syntactically distinct hypothesis. Syntactically distinct hypothesis means, so we have, in addition to these values, 3 values, here you have a one is question mark and one more is null for every attribute. That is, I'll add this one 3 2 plus 2 here, it becomes, here if you add plus 2 to this one, it becomes 5 plus 2 4 like this. So it will get 5 4 4 4, then 5120. Semantically distinct hypothesis means, so we know that one hypothesis is a null set. This is a more specific hypothesis, and one more hypothesis you can represent all the attributes values as a question mark. This is a one more hypothesis. This is a null is only one hypothesis, and this is a one more hypothesis. Okay, so that's why here what we will do here, one is this one null hypothesis. Then here addition to this one, already you have this 3 plus 1, this question mark hypothesis, 4, here 2 plus 1 3, so totally you will get 973 semantically distinct hypothesis. So null is, for the entire set it is only one hypothesis. So next, coming to general to specific order. So this general to specific order means, here we want to make, so there is a more general hypothesis, question mark, like this. This is the hypothesis. So if By considering a general hypothesis, you can make it more specific hypothesis. So that is what general to specific hypothesis. So this is useful structure because you can organize the search process. It exists for any concept learning task. Search possible without enumerating all members of H. Okay. So you can search possible without enumerating all members of H. You can search the H in the H. Okay. So how it is defined? General to specific order is the concept Hj. Hj means it is in one hypothesis is more general than or equal to Hk. We have two hypotheses. One is Hj and one more is Hk. We are comparing which one is more general than which hypothesis. So we'll say that Hj is more general than or equal to Hk hypothesis, and it is also represented in the form of this Hj is greater than or equal to Hk. Only when, if and only if, for all x in X, you know already this is a collection of instances, this is a single instance. For all instances belongs to this instance set, there must be Hk is equal to 1 implies Hj is equal to 1. It means that X instance X satisfies Hk, it must also satisfies Hj. Then only you can say that more general than or equal to Hk. Hj is more general than or equal to Hk. So I'll repeat once again. If X satisfies Hk hypothesis, it must also satisfies Hj hypothesis, and it is also represented Hj is more general than Hk is represented by greater than or equal to symbol. So let us consider the example here. There are two hypotheses, that is H1 and H2 here. So here there are 4 question marks, here also 5 question mark. Based on the question mark only you can say that, so this is more general than this one, because question mark accept any value. It accepts any value means it becomes a general thing. So here there are 4 question mark. Or else here set of instances covered by H1 and H2. Okay. H2 imposes fewer constraints than H1, therefore classifies more instances X as a positive. So H2 imposes fewer constraint. So there is a few constraints in the H2, because that is sky is equal to sunny is the only one constraint. The remaining it is accepting anything. But here there are 2 constraints, sky equal to sunny, and I think it is water is equal to strong. The remaining things are question mark. So that is why H2 is more general than H1, or it can be written as H2 greater than or equal to 1. The relation greater than imposes partial order over the hypothesis space H, that is independent of